To start this warm-up, I like to grab a medium to high resistant band, and I will sometimes put it above my knees as I'm doing here in this demonstration, or around my ankles. And I do like to move from side to side, really engaging all the sides of my glutes. So I like to use my heel and really focus on using the side of your foot as well. You want to make sure that you're doing these 3 sets of 15 to 20 reps. And again, you want to do it slow and controlled. You don't want to go too fast on these. This next warm-up, we have the lane kickbacks. You want to make sure with this that you really have a straight back. You want to use a high to medium resistance band. You keep your toes pointed as possible, and keep your legs as straight as possible. And you want to make sure that when you are kicking back, you do have the band wrapped around the opposite leg as I do have here, and really squeeze. You want to make sure that when you are doing your warm-ups, you are really squeezing, whether it's your hamstrings, your quads, your glutes, whatever part that you're really focusing on. Like in this one would be your glutes. This is where the fun begins. So this is a laying leg curl. The trick to this is that you do want to make sure that you do position the machine to your comfort. You want to make sure that your legs are close together, as you see mine here. And you want to also make sure that you are extending your legs out and then bringing it back in slow and controlled. Also, key is making sure that you do a progressive overload, meaning you will do anywhere from 3 to 4 sets and anywhere from 12 to 15 reps in each of those sets. But you do want to make sure that every set that you do, you are adding more and more weight. Next, we have the hip abductors. The cool thing about this is that you can do this so many different ways. Personally, I like to sit at the very end of the seat. I like to use a heavy weight. I'll go anywhere from medium to heavy, anywhere from 3 to 4 sets, 12 to 15 reps. And I like to really squeeze the sides of my glutes when I'm spreading my legs apart and keeping it there for 1 to 2 seconds and then bringing it back in and doing it over and over again until you're done with your sets. Next, we have my favorite exercise of all times, which is the hip thrust. I personally like to use the Smith machine because it's a way easier setup for me. The key tips to this exercise is to make sure that 1, your legs are shoulder width apart, that your upper body is properly propped up against the bench, and that you are using your heels only when performing this exercise. Now, when you are pushing up, you want to make sure that you do have some proper padding. That way you don't bruise up on your hips. You want to make sure that you are pushing up with your hips and with your hamstrings. You don't want to use anything else. You're not supposed to be applying pressure to your upper body at all. And of course, when you're going up, you want to make sure that you squeeze as tight as possible. Again, progressive overload. You want to make sure you're increasing weight, challenging yourself in every single set. And you want to do anywhere from 3 to 4 sets of 10 to 15 reps. Next, we have the straight leg deadlifts. My biggest tips for this is that you can use this on the Smith machine, you can use free weights, but you just want to make sure that you are incorporating your heels when pushing off of the ground. And a great way of doing so is putting 2 plates on the floor. Also works perfect for hip thrust. When you are going down, feeling that stretch within your hamstring to your glutes, and when you're coming up, you are squeezing at the top and doing this slow and controlled motions, all the while keeping a straight back. You don't want to arch and you don't want to curve too much. And again, you can do progressive overload, highly recommended, anywhere from 3 to 5 sets of 10 to 15 reps. Next, we have the leg press machine. The really cool thing about the leg press machine is that depending on what your foot placement is, it does work out different parts of your legs. As you can see in this video, I am doing more of a sumo stance, meaning my feet are a little more wide apart. The trick to this is that you want to make sure that you are using your heels. You want to make sure you're incorporating progressive overload in all of your exercises. And you do anywhere from 3 to 4 sets of 15 to 20, slow and controlled. Next, I will be lying to you if I told you what's the name of this exercise, because I do not know, but it does help me a lot. I have seen a big difference with this exercise as well. And what you really want to do in this exercise is you do want to make sure, again, that you are using your heel. You want to make sure that you're pushing yourself down. And when you're coming up on your leg, you don't want to go all the way up. As you can see in this video, I'm keeping my leg halfway up, and then I push it back down with my heel. Going up in weight every single set. Do anywhere from 3 to 4 sets of 15 to 20 reps, and making sure that it is slow and controlled and that you are squeezing every time that you are going down. So we are almost at the end. What we have here is the glute bridge with abduction. I do like to use a medium to high weight resistant band. I do use this sometimes as a warm-up or as a finisher for my workouts. Bring yourself up, making sure that you're not moving your upper body. It's going to be your lower body that brings everything up. You use your heels, you have your legs shoulder width apart, and you want to squeeze when you're at the top and then spread your legs apart and creating resistance against the sides of your legs. You want to do anything from 15 to 20 reps, and you can do 3 sets of these. So we are at the end. Again, you can have this at the beginning for a leg warm-up or at the end for a leg finisher. I'm doing right now is a leg bridge. You want to do the same kind of thing where you are bringing yourself up with your upper body, using your heel, pointing your leg or your foot out, and keeping this position for as long as possible. I do anywhere from 30 seconds to 45 seconds, and I'll do 3 to 4 different rounds of these.